Berlin draws a line, calling its rising populists extremist. But across the Atlantic, allies cry foul as echoes of history stir and old ghosts mutter warnings. Democracy's shield starts to look like a sword when protection wears the mask of power. Is it justice or just politics in disguise? In a move that has ignited fierce debate both domestically and internationally, Germany's Domestic Intelligence Service has officially designated the Alternative for Germany Party, or AfD, as a right-wing extremist group. This classification, announced by the Federal Office for the Protection of the Constitution on May 2nd, follows a comprehensive 3-year investigation resulting in a 1,000-page report that claims the party violates fundamental democratic principles. Central to our assessment is the ethnically and ancestrally defined concept of the people that shapes the AfD, which devalues entire segments of the population in Germany and violates their human dignity. This concept is reflected in the party's overall anti-migrant and anti-Muslim stance. But this decision has sparked unprecedented diplomatic friction between Germany and its American allies, with senior members of the Trump administration launching scathing criticisms against Berlin. Germany just gave its spy agency new powers to surveil the opposition. That's not democracy. It's tyranny in disguise. What is truly extremist is not the popular AfD, which took second in the recent election, but rather the establishment's deadly open border immigration policies that the AfD opposes. Germany should reverse course. The German Foreign Office responded directly to Rubio's comments defending the decision. This is democracy. This decision is the result of a thorough and independent investigation to protect our Constitution, and the rule of LAWIT is independent courts that will have the final say. We have learned from our history that right-wing extremism needs to be stopped. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance escalated the rhetoric further, accusing Germany of rebuilding the Berlin Wall. The AfD is the most popular party in Germany and by far the most representative of East Germany. Now the bureaucrats try to destroy it. The West tore down the Berlin Wall together, and it has been rebuilt not by the Soviets or the Russians, but by the German establishment. The AfD, which secured nearly 25% of seats in the German parliament in February's election, responded angrily to the designation. Party co-leaders Alice Weidel and Tino Capella issued a joint statement calling the move clearly politically motivated and a severe blow to German democracy. They have vowed to take legal action, claiming they're being discredited and criminalized. Shortly before the change of government, Stefan Brandner, the AfD's deputy chairman, was more blunt, saying this decision is complete nonsense, has absolutely nothing to do with law and order. The designation carries significant legal weight in Germany, effectively placing the AfD in the same category as neo-Nazi groups. Islamist organizations like Islamic State and far-left entities, such as the Marxist-Leninist Party of Germany. The classification enables German security services to dramatically increase surveillance of the party, including recruiting informants and intercepting party communications. Interior Minister Nancy Fraser insisted the decision was clear and unambiguous and resulted from an 1,100-page comprehensive and neutral audit conducted without political influence. The AfD is to be categorized as a confirmed right-wing extremist party, as it has been proven that the AfD pursues efforts against the free, democratic basic order. The AfD represents an ethnic concept that discriminates against entire population groups. Citizens with a history of migration are treated as second-class Germans. This clearly contradicts the guarantee of human dignity in Article 1 of the Constitution. Their nationalist attitude is reflected in racist statements, especially against immigrants and Muslims. Germany's Domestic Intelligence Agency specifically cited the party's treatment of Muslim citizens. AfD does not consider German citizens with a migration history from predominantly Muslim countries as equal members of the German people. The classification also impacts civil servants who belong to the AfD, as they may now face possible dismissal, depending on their role within the party. This creates a significant stigma that could impede the AfD's ability to attract members despite, or perhaps fueling its rising popularity in German polls. Bundestag Vice President Andrea Linde holds stated that as a designated right-wing extremist group, the AfD should not be treated as other parties, especially in parliament. This raises questions about whether AfD members will be allowed to chair parliamentary committees of privilege they would normally be entitled to as the second largest party in the legislature. This development comes just days before conservative leader Friedrich Merz is due to be sworn in as Germany's new chancellor, creating immediate challenges for the incoming administration. The classification has triggered calls for even more severe measures, including discussions about possibly banning the AfD entirely, a dramatic step that would require Germany's constitutional court to determine the party is not just extremist, but fundamentally unconstitutional. However, outgoing Chancellor Olaf Scholz urged caution against rushing toward such a ban. I think that's something you shouldn't rush into. After all, one of the things that we as citizens and politicians have to deal with is the fact that the Federal Constitutional Court has rejected all recent applications for bans. The incoming government will be under intense pressure to determine its approach to the AfD. Lars Klingbeil, the Social Democrat leader who is set to become finance minister in the next government, took a harder line. The AfD is an attack on Germany. They want a different country. They want to destroy our democracy. And we must take that very seriously. Friedrich Merz, the incoming chancellor, now faces a precarious balancing act. He has previously stated his desire to reduce the AfD to a marginal phenomenon by addressing voters' concerns directly, particularly on immigration. However, his party remains divided on how to deal with the AfD, with some allies like Jens Spahn suggesting it should be treated as a normal opposition party to avoid boosting its popularity through exclusion. The situation presents a complex political challenge, as the AfD has surged in the polls amid growing anti-immigration sentiment and economic concerns. Recent surveys show the party leading in several German states, particularly in the East. For a country still haunted by its Nazi past, the rise of the AfD and the subsequent response by authorities represents the most significant test of Germany's democratic institutions in decades. As one observer noted, this is about more than just a single political party. It's about how Europe's largest democracy confronts rising populism while preserving its constitutional principles.